Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Morning, everybody. I am starting off today with G.I. Jane Sophie. I love her in camo. I love her in anything. Listen, we've got Sophie, we've got William, we've got Harry, we've got Beatrice, we've got Camilla, we've got Charles. We are busy. Let's jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. All right, we are starting off this morning. I found this on Twitter from Monarchist Action. His Majesty King Charles has been painted in a mural in Northern Ireland. It also has the Queen and the future King, the Prince of Wales, on it. It looks like a gorgeous mural. Well done. All right, let's move on. Moving on to Prince William. For those of you who are unaware, Earthshot Prize 2023 is officially underway. They've already got over 1,100 nominations across the world, and people are coming up with all these innovative ways to save the planet. Love it. All right, moving on. Now, as is usual with Harry and Meghan, whenever something goes on with William and Catherine, they try to overshadow it. So Wellchild put out a statement, and notice it says our patron, Prince Harry, is calling for nominations for the 2023 Wellchild Awards. Now, the reason I brought that up to you, that it says notice our patron, is because not too long ago, Harry wrote this note, and in the note, he called himself a royal patron, which was a flat out lie. He is not the royal patron. It's a private patronage. So people were all over that. This is a private charity, or else it would have been stripped from him, like all of his other patronages were stripped from him. And this is happening because he cannot let go of the royal connection. That is why he has not relinquished their titles either. He can't let go. He knows that in his soul, that's all he is. That's all he has. It's really sad. All right, now we're going to move on to Sophie. And it's coming out that, we all know she went to the Netherlands last week for a visit focusing on women's rights and conflict-based sexual violence. But outside of us, their dedicated royal watchers, this has really not been covered by the press. Her work was completely ignored. And so the question is, why is that happening? We know that she went to the international court and had discussions about a trust fund for victims and how the court works to support these people. We know that, while she was in the Netherlands, she had meetings with other women. We know she did a lot of work. She went to the International Commission on Missing Persons to learn about the DNA laboratory, how to find people that have been displaced. She planted a tree. She handed out some Duke of Edinburgh awards. I just think she should be given her own IG or her own Twitter, and I think people should be more interested in what she's doing. That's all. Now, while we're still on the topic of Sophie, you should know that the Countess of Wessex went to Gibraltar Barracks for the Countess of Wessex Cup. Apparently, there's something there named for her, in her honor. I love that. So what this was a cup held in her honor at the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. And each year, soldiers compete in a face-off of different disciplines. Now, we know that Sophie holds a lot of honorary military appointments with regiments and organizations, and they compete against each other. Here's some of what Sophie has. She has the Royal Honorary of the Colonel 5th Battalion, the Rifles. She is Colonel-in-Chief of the Corps of Army Music, Colonel-in-Chief of Queen Alexandra's Royal Army Nursing Corps, and Colonel-in-Chief of the Lincoln and Welland Regiment. Obviously, that's not all, but my goodness, that's enough. Now, during this day, she headed to the shooting range with the other soldiers. Apparently, she shot the shotgun, and she was showing what a crack shot she is. I'm pretty sure she is. She also took the opportunity while she was there to meet the different unit members and their commanders. You should also know, just in case you're worried, that she was shooting at clay pigeons. I don't I have no clue what that is or how she was doing it, but that's what she was shooting at. Now, in going back to what I was saying before about Sophie's work not really being showcased, when Catherine is doing this new initiative for the children's mental health, it's being covered by the Daily Mail, Express, The Sun, Hello Magazine, like it's all over the place. Sophie's work I only saw on the Daily Mail. Now, maybe I'm just missing it, but I didn't see any other magazines covering her work. And this is part of what I'm talking about. She's not being showcased the way she should be showcased, in my opinion. I've always said she's like a secret weapon, and everybody genuinely likes her. So I'm really not sure why that's happening, but I hope that changes soon because her work is important. All right, moving on. Now we're going to go on to Princess Beatrice, who was just appointed as patron of the British Skin Foundation. She went on a visit to the research lab at the Center for Cell Biology and Cutaneous Research. This is at the Queen Mary University. I'm glad this is a new patronage for her. I'm glad she's getting busy. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to move on to Camilla now. The Queen Consort is going to visit Elmhurst Ballet next week to celebrate the school's 100th anniversary. She is the Birmingham School's patron. I love it. I was not surprised to hear that Camilla was patron of the ballet, just like she's patron of the reading. That seems to be her thing, is patronages of the arts, if that makes sense. All right, time to move on now to King Charles. To start with, in case you're unaware, King Charles paints watercolors, and he is being described as one of Britain's top watercolorists. Now, he sells his paintings for money, and the money all goes to charity, and he has raised, it's being reported in the articles, over £2 million for good causes. Good for you, Charles. Sticking with King Charles, he did some more investitures, starting with Stella McCartney. She was made a Commander of the Order of the British Empire for services to fashion and sustainability at Windsor Castle. I myself, I'm not a big fashion person, as you guys have probably seen in the videos, but I myself love her work and the fact that she really does use sustainable fabrics and stuff in her work. Okay, moving on to the next one. Charles also did an investiture for Deborah Dyer. She is a singer, songwriter, and author, and she was made an officer of the Order of the British Empire for services to music. She is rocking those shoes. Look at those shoes. I love it. Okay, moving on. Next up, the first class definitive stamp with King Charles on it has now been placed on display by the Postal Museum before they go into circulation later this year. And Charles's silhouette is an adapted version by Martin Jennings. Very nice. All right, I had to put this in. It was just too funny. Twitter user Phoebe Dinsmore added Prince Harry's virginity as a historical landmark. So I don't know if she added that as the historical landmark on Google Maps or the place where it happened. In any event, it was approved. Let's see how long it stays. Way to go. All right, we're going to dive into the whole coronation thing today. To start with, Neil Sean reported that Meghan Markle wants her children incorporated into the coronation. She said, you don't have to put us on the balcony. You don't have to do anything with us, but at least put our children on the balcony. And Neil Sean even said this was a very shrewd move because she knows that Charles has a good relationship with all of his grandchildren, and she's trying to tug at his heartstrings. This is why, when I showed you this article yesterday, they're saying that Charles is they're playing with Charles's emotions with the kids. But the truth is, he doesn't really know those kids. And to be fair, I don't think he's going to do it. It is being reported that Charles made a final decision of what he's going to do with Harry and Meghan. Everybody was like, should he, swallow his pride and his hurt and invite them? And So if anybody's thinking that there's going to be a big, reconciliation, it ain't happening. A plan is being worked out that would see Harry brought back into the UK for 48 hours and back out again without Meghan and without the children. That's what's being reported, and we've already heard it. They're calling it Harry in a hurry. There'd be no time for him to see anybody. There'd be no time for him to, have talks with the family. Apparently they're planning on putting him, I don't even know where, so he's away from everybody. He can't tape anything. Now, supposedly, it's being reported now that Charles is not attempting to bring Harry and Meghan and the kids back into the fold before the coronation. I never believed any of these stories where they said that he'd gone to, the Archbishop of Canterbury after what they did to the Archbishop of Canterbury. I just never believed any of that. There's never been much connection. There's a lot of guesswork going on. There's no contact, not on Zoom, not in phone calls. And the last thing they want is these reconciliation talks going on in the middle of a coronation, because the world does not revolve around Harry and Meghan, even though they think it does. They're focused. They have visits to Germany coming up, visits to France coming up. The coronation is coming up. They're not really going, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? It's Archie's birthday and, blah, blah. No, it's not happening, people. People are calling Harry and Meghan high-level extortionists because they're threatening another book. They're threatening this. They're threatening that. That's exactly what they are. Well, Great Britain News, Dan Wooten, had on this lady, and she had plenty to say. Let me tell you what she had to say. It was fabulous. She said the issue of Harry and Meghan attending needs to be resolved now so the world can stop talking about it. She pointed out that Harry can't be booed by the crowds if he's not there. He can't rat on private conversations if he's not there. We don't have to worry about illicit photos of him, with family members if he's not there. She said if he is there, he's going to be the story, and they're going to be panning shots back and forth between him and Camilla. But if he's not there, people can just go ahead and focus on the coronation. She said, I understand that that's the king's son, but in the present climate, he's got to bite the bullet and say to Harry, I'm sorry, but in the present climate, you just can't come, end of story. And I have to say, I agree with her. This constant speculation, the constant articles, the attention is everywhere but where it should be. He should just bite the bullet and end it. You know what I mean? Okay. So now they're having, in his attempt to try to get Harry there, because Harry is his son, they're saying that this 48-hour flying in and flying out is no good because, number one, it's artificial and forced, because we know that they're not going to apologize to Harry before Harry comes over, which is something Harry demanded. And even if Harry himself just comes without the kids and without Meghan, there's the fact that, there are other official events going on and royal outings beyond the religious ceremony. And what part would Harry play in those, if any? Because, of course, if he comes over, he expects to be involved, which I don't think he should be. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you that I try to lift up smaller channels. Somebody sent this to me in an email. I wish I could remember whoever it was. Thank you, and I'm sorry. But this person only has 30 subscribers. She is apparently taping from Switzerland. She is hilarious. You don't want to miss this channel, so feel free to go and sign up. Now, to end up, I wanted to show you, this is the gentleman that we'll be donating our funds to. He took some of his money that was donated and he supplied 5 free new electrical cooktops for veterans in a town called Burney, I believe it is. This is what I like about this guy. He's completely transparent with where he puts the money and what he does with the money. I just think he's the best choice. By the way, my money hasn't shown up yet in PayPal, hopefully tomorrow. And how about this one? A rogue plumber charged this 85-year-old woman 1,500 pounds for a repair to a pipe. She had a water leak. She still has a leak. Apparently, they charged her $1,500 and didn't do the repairs. How terrible is that? How do people live with themselves, scamming older people like that? Now, she went back to see another elderly woman that was there today. and she's the only carer for her daughter, and she was charged $1,500 for the repairs to her pipe. And as you can see from the photos, the $1,500 got her some cloth wrapped around the pipe. Yep. So what this man did was he gave her back her $1,500. That's why I want to donate to this guy. But I wanted you guys to see where the money's going. All right, you guys, you know what I'm looking for. Leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you've already hit the button, double check and make sure that you're still subscribed. Don't forget to go up into the description box and you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon. It's all there. And make sure you're subscribed to those so you know where to find me just in case. If you've donated money through the Coffee Fund and through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.